Mic check 1 2. Testing 1 2 3. Testing 1 2 3. Testing 1 2 3.
I'm the magnificent.
Tell them what your name is.
I'm the magnificent.
Yo, man, I don't think they heard you. Won't you tell them what your name is?
What's up? What's up? Bright Street in the building. Just making sure the sound is right. Where everybody at? They must be tired. Where everybody at? I know it was a lot of drama. Since the camera is off, I could take my mask off. I always sound funny with the mask on. Oh yeah, my bad. It's early rise on a Sunday. People sleeping in, stuff like that. Yeah, my bad. I picked a bad time, but uh, TJ is live and is pretty off the hook. I had to, every time I was finna go live, somebody else's show would start. So, I was watching everybody in their mama's show, and then I said, all right, I'm going live. And then somebody else, it seemed like everybody's watching everybody because TJ went live right after somebody else ended their show. You see what I'm saying? And I was watching hella people's shows, and I was like, okay, I'm going live. Then somebody else, boom, boom, boom. So everybody's kind of watching everybody. Isn't that a trip? It's like it's a network. They should go on ahead and make it a network. That's why I started the United Smart Broadcasters Collective. It's only like it's a free membership, and all you got to do is use the logo. It's just like a what you call it, a merchant organization. Everybody's in the same district, so we can say, okay, this is North Beach Merchants Association. This is Chinatown Merchant Association. You see what I'm saying? Yeah, they might as well be on the same channel with different shows. Hey, Bitcoin is off the hook. I've been watching the market, and the damn market has been like popping like every few minutes, and it just had like um a big ass jump. Well, I heard one channel holder say he not he don't like live shows. He's made more money doing videos and got more popularity doing videos, and just off of videos alone, he used to make a lot of money, and but you know that's because maybe he don't have broadcasting and engineering skills, because there's still a thing called broadcasting, and there's still a thing called media. And when you're making videos, that just makes you an editor. You see what I'm saying? A media editor. And you might do your own narrations. But there is a art and a style and a tradition to broadcasting. But it's easy to say live shows ain't cool, to cop out your responsibilities as a broadcaster, which I'm sure you never been to the website or never saw a book. For the professional broadcasters, there's a ratings book that's published every year. For the amateur broadcaster, you can do your research on the standards. I'm not going to say rules, but the standards of broadcasting and recording. And you could tell that 90% of the amateurs that do this stuff have no idea what they're doing. They call anything a podcast, and then they use the word podcast radio. That's just like saying I'm a sovereign citizen. You can't say that. You can't say sovereign and citizen in the same sentence. You can't say podcast radio in the same sentence. Somebody decided to attack podcasts and try to destroy what a podcast is, and they took people who they knew didn't know shit about podcasting, that couldn't make it in radio really. They dumped a bunch of money into them because they had a little bit of fame before, and they said, yeah, man, this, it's a podcast, it's the latest thing. Okay, cool. We're gonna pay your salary. Don't worry about it. Right? And then you look at their show, and it's 3 hours long, and it's on YouTube or some shit. And a podcast is not a stream. A stream is a stream. A podcast is a podcast. And I guess we're going to ignore the word pod. Like that has no meaning. And the people that like to argue with me, I say, well, you tell me the difference between, let's move terrestrial radio out the picture. Tell me the difference between a podcast and an internet radio show, and tell me why you think people rather listen to a podcast than a radio show. and then they usually can't, because anything past 45 minutes on the internet is a pre-recorded radio show. Radio shows are. I used to do internet radio and I used to podcast. So internet radio is an hour or longer, and podcasting is 38 minutes or less. That's why it's called a podcast, a short cast, a small cast. And people who actually bring useful information, those people podcast for only 16 minutes, and they may podcast 5 times a day. And I ain't never heard a commercial on a podcast. And a podcast don't have to have music in the background. And when you do have music in a podcast, you only hear about an EP worth of music. They're only going to play a couple of minutes of music. You're only going to hear at the most 3.5 songs. But, I don't drive a Bentley. I don't own a label. I'm not the money man. So fuck what I say. And fuck the standards. As long as you're making money, as long as the man is willing to give you $4,500 a week or a month, and he tells you to call your shit trash show a podcast, nobody wants to sit through 3 fucking hours. But you might as well go back to listening to radio. Radio was dying because of the podcast. So people say, okay, let's destroy what a podcast is, what the definition is, because there's so many people that don't know. By the time they figure it out, they all be fucking up what a podcast is. Let me look at the chat. Oh yeah, this is bad. You do. I love Netflix, but I stopped watching Netflix behind YouTube. I swear to God, because it's so. If Netflix could be interactive, like let's say Netflix is the same, but they got this extra thing on Netflix where it's like going to a movie theater. It's like they should call it Netflix Live Theater. And now in that theater, you can watch the featured film and chat with each other. And that one's for free. Let's see. Yeah, because look, a podcast is a feed, and a YouTube video is a stream. It's 2 different mediums. They got 2 different web addresses. A podcast has a RSS feed, and a stream has a URL, and you can register your podcast with a international registrar. I was subscribed to I was connected to 2 different registrars. So when you do podcasts, it gets syndicated on dummy websites around the world with advertising and other people's languages. It don't help. The advertiser doesn't go to you, but at least your podcast is bootlegged around the world so people can catch it if they want. You know what I'm saying? And let's see. How long can you do a podcast? Look, this is the thing, and this is what I was telling Uncle Fester. You can podcast as long as you want, and you can call it a podcast, and nobody's going to take you to jail. Nobody's going to call you dumb. And if you counting big dough, people may even call you a genius. But it's not a podcast. It won't be recognized. The people who put you on will have to create their own award show and then give you an award to further validate your bullshit podcast. Now, that being said, there are some fake podcasters that I love to listen to and watch. It's just that it's sad that people mess up standards. Standards are very vulnerable, but the recording industry is very specific. If you don't meet certain standards, you'll never get a Grammy award or whatever like that. You see what I'm saying? So a podcast is supposed to be the average time that it takes to commute. So the average time in the United States is 28 minutes, except for New York. The average time is 38 minutes. The podcast is designed so you don't have to invest a lot of time into one show, because if you have time, you can listen to several shows. So it's actually very arrogant and self-righteous for anyone to have a show longer than 28 minutes and call their show a podcast, because it defeats the purpose. People got tired of 2-hour radio shows. That's why the podcast was genius. Now, somebody told me, no, it's changed now. It's different. A podcast is 2 hours. Look at Joe Budden. Look at Joe Rogan. Look, my favorite DJ, Digweed, has a 2-hour podcast where he's DJing. That don't make it a podcast. I don't give a fuck if Art Bell came back and he said, I'm doing a 2-hour podcast after my 5-hour radio show. I'll be like, all right, I see you. Because, Art Bell used to do a 5-hour show on AM around the world from his house. Then he would do an additional Han radio show for people who are Han radio enthusiasts. He would do that for another 2 hours. And he never jumped on the podcast bandwagon, but he was the first to use technology for his radio show. Let me see what else. Shit, I studied this as if it was a social experiment and so much human behavior. And see, that creates a problem. These YouTube streams don't fit the time. Well, see, you cannot. What I'm trying to say is, a podcast cannot even be a stream. So some people record a stream while simultaneously podcast live or pre-record the podcast feed. But you cannot. Well, they did invent Flipboard, but before Flipboard, basically, a podcast is an RSS feed that you could put into your browser, and your browser could retrieve the feed. And back in the early days of iPods, you can subscribe to the RSS feed. And if you had a Samsung MP3 player, they had a lot of MP3 players that automatically retrieve the feed. See, a stream you have to find yourself. A feed comes to you. When you wake up in the morning, you're going to have all these podcast feeds in your podcast catcher. If you have iTunes and that person podcasts within every 30 days, then they will be listed on iTunes. But some people don't podcast every 30 days. Some do every week, more than once a day. But Apple has a thing where you got to podcast within 30 days or they won't list you. Let's see. That, and even if a stream has a title, the content of the video rarely sticks to the subject of the title. And how long can you do? Let me see. The YouTube version of Tyler Perry is going to be the game changer. And MD, I noticed, Marcus Dillinger, that with some of these titles misdirected me just to speak on something else in the live. Yeah, that's all very interesting, and I've spoke about podcasts many times, and most people say, well, fuck you, because the people I watch is getting money, and they're making big time podcasts, and their shit is 2.5 hours, and I'm saying they're popular. They got corporations behind them. The corporations is making them popular. They used to have a career. They might have been a side man to another rapper, or they used to do radio or something like that. But you won't go to jail for putting the word podcast in your title. But for people who are broadcaster enthusiasts, people who respect the art of engineering and broadcasting and recording, who studied the craft, read material, pamphlets, books, watched videos, sat in seminars, they know what a motherfucking podcast is. And yeah, when you join one of those little fake bullshit podcast websites, they will allow you to record video or audios for up to 2 hours. But that doesn't mean you're supposed to use it. Just like a CD can record 60 minutes. But if you call that CD a EP, it's only going to have 4 songs on it, and it's only going to have 28 minutes worth of music on it. If you call that CD a 12-inch, it's only going to have it's going to have one long 12-minute song, and then it's going to have an instrumental, and then it's going to have an acapella, but the whole thing is only going to add up to 24 minutes or maybe 14 minutes. If you call that CD that you could record a whole hour on, if you call that a 12-inch, because that's a recording standard. And if you're going to call that CD a LP, it shouldn't have no more than 10 or 12 songs on it. Now, if you don't call that CD a LP, you could have 20 songs on it. It don't matter. You could have 22 songs on it as long as you can fit it within 60 minutes. But if you put the letters LP, which stands for long player, if you put the letters EP, which stands for extended play, those have a meaning, and they have a standard for that. And I told my cousin, he cracked me up. He said, "Yo, cousin, I'm finna put out EP, man. It's gonna be sick. It's gonna be, right." And I said, "Oh, so me, I'm the OG, artist, like trying to stick to the script type dude. I mean, I believe in innovation and stuff, but tradition shouldn't be broken because it's there for a reason. That's why movies will always be 24 frames per second. It's never going to change. 24 frames per second. It's always going to be that way because it works when it comes. What's weird is it was economic for film, and now that we use memory cards, it's still economic for memory cards. And it's a long story why 24 frames per second works best for the movie industry. We're going to stick to audio. But my cousins, I said, I know you should only have 4 songs on the EP. I've made several EPs myself, all on vinyl. And I said, yo, cuz, how many songs is going to be your EP? It's a trick question. And he said 12. And I said, oh, really? Well, I said, unless your each song is going to be 2 minutes, 12 songs is going to be too many songs because the EP is only 28 minutes. He said, I'm going to change the game. I'm going to drop a 12-song EP, and ain't nobody thought of that. No. A 12-song album is an LP. Really, it's really 10 songs with preludes, interludes, and reprises. And nobody know what that is anymore. But when Drake adds a reprise and prelude and interludes in his music, they're going to think he's a genius. But they used to do that back in the Motown days. Let's see here. YouTube version of the... How does money work with podcasts and Pretty Sky? Thank you. We're going to get to that Sky. I got some surprises for you on the Sky thing. The 24 frames per second is deep when it comes to the eyes. Well, it's about vision. It's about blurring. All right, if you take your hand and wave it in front of you, you see a blur when your hand moves. So 24 frames per second, it's called motion blur. So 24 frames per second gives you that motion blur. And so it looks more realistic. And also, it doesn't require that much memory to record at 24 frames. If you record at a higher frame rate and stuff like that, it's going to require more memory. And when you're a movie house like Paramount and you got people filming all over the world and they got to upload the film to the server, you're going to have to buy more servers. You're going to have to buy more space to store those servers. And it could be very expensive. You see what I'm saying? So 24 frames per second makes it very economical, just for the memory cards. But even before, when we was using regular film, 24 frames per second was best, because those reels can get pretty big. That's why 70 millimeter film and stuff was huge, you know. And so yeah, and then different frame. You know, the next time we talk, we'll just talk about frame rates and what kind of illusions that different frame rates. Like if you was gonna have a fight scene, you would film at 15 frames per second. Like in the movie 300, when they were fighting, that frame rate was 15 frames per second. And before they had a standard, movies were as slow as 12 to 13 frames per second up to 18 frames per second. And then eventually they settled at a standard that was 24 frames per second. Now you will get an idiot and say, well, I'm going to shoot my movie at 25, or 20. It's going to look different. Just like that animated movie. There was an animated movie that was shot at 48 frames per second, and I can't think of it, but it was a very popular animation, and it had this glossy look to it. But I'll give you an example about frame rates. Reality shows are shot at 30 frames per second in soap operas. That's why it looks like video almost. And football games are shot at 60 frames per second, and car commercials are 60 frames per second. But movies, what make a movie looks like a movie is because it's at 24 frames per second. But you could, for certain scenes, you could play with different frame rates. Basically, the playback can be 24, but the recording frames can be anything you want it to be to create a certain illusion. So I like to use the Bad Boys film producer as an example. And he used to love to have women walking down the street and open up a car door and get into the car. And he also used to love mounting a camera on the hood facing the car windshield and showing the reflection of the nightclub lights and street lights. So to make that girl look extra sexy walking down the street, and especially if you don't have a 3-axis gimbal or a stabilizer, you can record at 48 frames per second, which makes things slightly slow and smooth, but not too slow. It still looks natural, and it makes anything, like the whole world should be at 48 frames per second. Everybody would be sexy and cool if we was living in a 48 frames per second world. But that's the record. Now the playback has to be 24 frames per second if you want it to look like a movie. What's up, C. Wilson? In the building. Now that C. Wilson is here, let me put my mask on because there's so many people here, and we need to keep 6 feet away from each other and make sure we quarantine because it's getting bad out here where I'm at. And let me back the spaceship up and make sure that we don't contaminate each other here. Okay.
Welcome to His Lordship. So excited to have you guys upon our this is a high-tech technology shift. Is futuristic. This will blow your mind. Again, welcome to His Lordship. Thank you. Welcome to His Lordship. Thank you.
That was a trip. That was a trip. That was crazy. You need some music? You need some music? Well, I got, how about some music and some video? Okay, here we go. I'm gonna cut my mic off. C. Wilson, the Diva, in the building, the Diva, in the building, C. Wilson, Bryce Street, Marquise. Yeah, so while you up on panels, fucking cussing each other out, you know, people have lost their kids, people are preparing for surgery, people dealing with brain aneurysms, all kind of stuff, when you can just be chilling, you know? Get outdoors. I mean, maybe I need to translate. Let me say it a different way. Go outside, my nigga, and enjoy some of this peace and tranquility and what God has provided for us. I mean, are you making that much money? Are you making that much money arguing and screaming and yelling and pulling up on motherfuckers? You know, you got a rep on YouTube. Woo! You got a rep on YouTube for pulling up and being a man. Come on, man. Chill. Enjoy the finer things in life. You know what I'm saying? I ain't got shit. You know what I'm saying? I ain't nobody. But look where I'm at. Chilling. Hard. So this is a PSA. Get your ass off YouTube, because you can't handle it. And if the shoe fits, if you feel like this is I'm speaking to you, maybe I am. Get your ass off YouTube. Thank you. I gotta take a phone call. Peace. This is Lordship, and I'm here with a PSA for you angry motherfuckers on YouTube. Okay, let's bring it down a notch. Let's turn it. Let's dial it back a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Because what you do on YouTube is pretty much forever. You don't know who screen recorded it. YouTube has it. You have it in your cache. If your computer or your phone gets subpoenaed, they can find the videos on your cache. All these little threats you made to people is on record. Damn, we have fallen. We have fell off. This ain't no regular old school. This ain't your grandmother's telephone. Whatever you do on a smartphone or a computer is timestamped. I keep saying this shit over and over. Yeah, you motherfuckers want to kill Vlad TV and shit. You snitched on yourself. You put yourself out there. You know, all he had to do is create the space. And you know, as hard it is for black people to get people as guests on their show, people love to go to these other guys, and look what happened. Because I would have told you, if I would have had some celebrity dude that might have a shaky past or something shaky going on with him, I would pull him to the side. Yo, man, just remember, whatever you say can get you indicted, because this is the internet, and the FBI watches the internet just like they watch newspapers, just like they watch everything, reality shows. Before the internet, the FBI reads papers and magazines and watch the news. Now you got the smartphone shit. They don't have to leave the office. I bet you thousands of agents that got laid off because everybody is investigating themselves. Look. If you don't know what a .com is about, get your ass off the internet. .com means commercial. If we're on YouTube.com, it's called Your Television Commercial. Your commercial television. Why the fuck you gangbanging on YouTube? Set tripping and posses and crews and cliques. Just have a show and try to get some money. You know what I'm saying? Okay, I'm done. 3 minutes. I'm done. As a final thought, I just want to say, love each other, don't hate each other. Love each other. Get it together. Get that hate out your heart. Get the pain out your heart. Take care of things that needs to be tended to. Because you know what? I'm dealing with some shit too. Did I bring it to YouTube? No. But the shit I'm dealing with, I was going to stop myself, but it's under control. You see what I'm saying? So you need to get your life. If you got to come to the water to figure it out, come to the water. Okay? Come to the water. But get it together. Somebody told me to tell you to get your ass off of YouTube. Fix your life. Alright? Because this is your television commercial. This is your commercial television. YouTube. Tube is short for television. It's an abbreviation. Alright? It's another word, a metaphor for television. You, meaning yourself. This could be your television, or this could be your place to make yourself look like a fool. Because when you make a video and chat in the chat room, that shit is permanent. Permanent. It travels with you. You'll never be able, you must know you ain't gonna never do shit. You ain't never running for mayor. You ain't never running for councilman, senator, alderman, you're head of PTA, nothing. You're just gonna be the hardest motherfucker on YouTube. Well, congratulations. You know, show me the check stubs. So I was brought to the water to deliver you a message. Fix your life. Get your ass off of YouTube. I'm gonna fix my life too. And I know when to get off of YouTube. That's the problem. You know, that's the hard part. Because you don't know these people and they don't know you. But you care what they think. And then you want to fuck with people who don't care what other people think. That's odd too. But if you have no shame and you know you ain't never gonna be shit, then be my guest. Lordship, and I'm out.
I'm the magnificent.
That wasn't supposed to happen. Hold on. That was not supposed to happen. One moment, please.
Welcome to His LORDSHIP. We're so excited to have you guys upon our this is a high-tech technology shift. Is futuristic. This will blow your mind. Again, welcome to His LORDSHIP. Thank you.
Peaky Blinders is my shit. Do they have a new season? Because I watch Peaky Blinders. Do they have a new season? Oh, okay. I'm trying to turn my camera on. Blinders is my shit, and I got my wife into Peaky Blinders too. And I don't know why the camera won't turn on. Oh, okay, there we go. So, I got my wife into Bitcoins quite a while ago, and we were using you know, I told her to go to the Coinbase website, and then um, you know, on the Coinbase website, they teach you about cryptocurrency, and they pay you to learn. So she earned a lot of cryptocurrency just from learning about it. And when I first started my YouTube channel, I taught people how to get free cryptocurrency, at least $150 worth. And I used to put my QR code on the screen, and I used to tell people, I'm going to tell you how to get free money. And if you want to donate to the show, it's not coming out of your own pocket. But nobody really bit into that. I even told people that if you use a web browser, a special web browser, you will get free cryptocurrency because the advertisers pay you in crypto for watching their ads, and they block all the other ads, and they block them from tracking what you're doing on the website. And right now, I can't think of the name of that website, but you get free BAT. But my point is, my wife only came out of pocket $20 when I turned her on to Bitcoins, and I did do a show on it. Now, guess what? That $20 is worth $191 now, and she only came out the pocket $20. And Bitcoin is so hostile, but it's so off the hook. And there was a time when a Bitcoin was worth less than $1. Now one coin is worth $40,000. And I'm about to look at my Coinbase wallet just to see if I could give you I'm gonna go to my Coinbase app and see if I could give you a stat. Can you hear me okay? All right. So what's cool about this stuff is they give you statistics, right? All the statistics and stuff is right there. So in one day, Bitcoins went down minus 3.12%. And so a Bitcoin is worth one coin is worth $39,646. Okay? But let's look at it, let's look how it did for a week. In 1 week, right on. Right on. My new policy is don't say the name of the people. So I just want to say right on. In 1 week, and if you want to talk to me about cryptocurrency on Instagram privately, it's all good. Anybody who donate to the show, whatever, we could discuss cryptocurrency privately, and I could turn you on to at least $150 to $300 worth of free cryptocurrency to get you started in the cryptocurrency market. Now, like I said, in one day, the currency fell by 3%. But guess what? In 1 week, the currency rose by 16.32%. So if it dropped minus 3%, so what? Because cryptocurrency changes every so many hours. It's not like the stock exchange. Once the stock exchange shuts down, that's it until the next day. but every 4 hours or so, cryptocurrency can go up or go down, and Bitcoin separated into three different companies, three different types of Bitcoins. But the regular BTC Bitcoin is the most lucrative and the most hostile, but it's the most potential to gain interest on your money. Now, a lot of my friends use cryptocurrency as regular money, and they've been doing that for 10 years or so. Um, yeah, I got friends that'll go to Whole Foods, convert their bitcoins into a gift card and buy beer, and come back with the beer from stuff like that. But anyway, in 1 week, it went from 27,000 to 41,000. Okay, so I'm kicking myself. All this stimulus money and stuff like that, and I had got donations. You know, I'm in a business, and that business got donations for me to survive the summer. I'm still kicking myself because I didn't put none of that money into cryptocurrency. But I want to look at cryptocurrency as an investment, but also as regular money too, because if you're a person that has to send money back home, like if you have to send it to the Philippines or to Mexico or places like that, trust me, you don't want to use Western Union and all that stuff, because you got to wait for the banks to open. The bank get their cut, Western Union get their cut, and then you lose money in the conversion when you could have just sent DAI cryptocurrency to the Philippines, and when they received it, it would already be converted into their money, and it would cost you very little money to do it. And there's all types of currency. There's the U.S. coin, and then there's the DAI, which is very, very stable, and then you got the Tezo, and you got the Zcash, and you got the XRP and the Stellar Loom, and you got the Wrap Bitcoin, you got the Uniswap and the UMA, and whenever there's a new coin, they will pay you to learn about that coin, and you yourself can have your own coin if you wanted to. And there's a bank that gives you around 6% interest a month on your cryptocurrency. Plus, if the value go up, you get that too, and that's called BlockFi, BLOCK. I know I got this mask on, but it's called BlockFi. So, but let me tell you about cryptocurrency, Bitcoin today, because the past 3 days I've been noticing something about Bitcoin. So I wanted to share that with you. Aside from all the beef stuff and all that stuff that's going on, in 1 week, the Bitcoin has gone from 27,000 to $41,000. I mean, 41,000 in cryptocurrency. Now, a dollar of a US dollar is like a dollar, but of course it's worth, because of the inflation, a dollar is worth less than a dollar. But $1 of a Bitcoin costs you $41,000. If you wanted to buy one coin of a Bitcoin, you would have to come out to pocket $41,000. But a week ago, if you would have put 100 or 2,000 or 5,000 into Bitcoin, you would have flipped your money by 22% in 1 week. I just thought I would tell you that, because we cool. We cool like that. Now, let me tell you, in 1 month, and we just talking about one form of cryptocurrency. We're only talking about the original Bitcoin, the BTC. All right. In 1 month, it went the coin value went up 113%. Okay? Can you believe that? Um, so let's look at a year. In 1 year, because the Bitcoin had dropped down very low last January, uh, last last January, the Bitcoin was all the way down to $3,800. Okay, $3,800, and then in 1 year's time, let's see if you want to buy Bitcoins right now. It's too late. You don't buy it when it's high. You buy it when it's low. A year ago, it was 3,000. It was you could buy one coin for $3,000, and if you can't afford one coin, you could buy a fraction or of the coin. Whatever you can afford. If you put in $200, then you own $200 worth of a coin. You don't own a whole coin, but you own a fraction of a coin. And in 1 year's time, the Bitcoin has rose by 394%. So, and this has happened time and time again, and I'm kicking myself. Now, last year, the coin rose all the way to, well, the year before last, it rose all the way up to June, and then it started dropping. Now, back when Bitcoin wasn't worth $1, a guy ordered 2 pizzas and he paid for the pizza with cryptocurrency. He gave the pizza restaurant 10,000 Bitcoins to order 2 pizzas for delivery. And a week later, the value of those Bitcoins went up and he gave away $3 million. That's what I'm saying. I got friends that are musicians who were getting paid in Bitcoins. They travel from country to country, so they rather use Bitcoins instead of money because they lose money on the conversion, especially if you're going to England or Switzerland or Japan, certain place, or even where the euro, because sometimes the euro is stronger than the dollar too. You know what I'm saying? Reefer in the building. And anybody I may have missed, if Auntie in the building, shout out to Auntie and everybody in the background. You see what I'm saying? Now, let's talk about the Bitcoin overall history, because there is a movie called The Rise and Rise of Bitcoin. Now, you would think the movie would be called The Rise and Fall of Bitcoin, but it's actually called The Rise and Rise. So, let me bring you into the matrix. Now, since the Bitcoin began, right, there was a long time where the Bitcoin was worth like one coin was worth 6 cents, and that went on for a long time. That went on for a long time where the coin the coin was worth only like 6 cents, and then it had a spike, and then it went back down, and then it had a lower spike, and then it went down a little bit, and then all of a sudden, boom! It took off like the space shuttle. Okay, it took off like the space shuttle, and I had cashed out because I was getting tipped and I was getting tips in cash and crypto. So somebody would pay for my servers, tip me in cash, and then they would take their phone and transfer bitcoins to my phone through the Coinbase wallet. And And there was a time where I needed some money, so I cashed out, and I only left like $2 and some change in the cryptocurrency. And because of the recent surge in crypto, that $2 and some change is now $26. So the next time I get a stimulus and stuff like that, I'm gonna be ready to put my money back into crypto. But the thing is, right now, even though um, you can still put your money into it, and you can flip your money a little bit and then move it to something more stable. But and you should diversify too. But you get the biggest outcome with the biggest risk. So you want to put it all on the Bitcoin. But it's really kind of late in the game. Like, even if I say a week ago, you should have put money into Bitcoins a week ago. But if you could, it should have been last year before the corona hit. You see what I'm saying? The only reason why, well, one of the reasons why crypto went down is because um, Mark Zuckerberg was buying Bitcoins. Whenever a rich dude, like whenever these companies want their own coins, because I think Mark Zuckerberg want his own coin, so he wanted to back it up with crypto, currency. And so because they were buying huge amounts of crypto, it lowered the value of the currency. Whenever a big rich corporation or a rich person buys into cryptocurrency to back their own currency, it lowers the value. So now I think everybody who wants Bitcoins, they got tons of money, they got it now. So the coins should start rising again. Also, in Switzerland, there is an official Bitcoin bank. And now the U.S. government said it's okay for U.S. corporations to use cryptocurrency, because the thing is, companies need to order supplies overnight. It's always daytime somewhere on the planet, and you need to do business with these companies, and you got to wait for the banks to open. You got to wait for Western Union and all this bullshit, and it'll just be easier to send crypto to make your purchase with a company that's already open in the middle of the night, and don't have to worry about it. You see what I'm saying? Yeah, huh? I might do my MF Doom tribute mask. You know what I'm saying? What's up, C. Wilson? And I saw the Italian biker in the house. Shout out to him. Make sure you watch his show of him cooking. His cooking shows are awesome. Okay, so it's still not too late to get on the cryptocurrency bandwagon. You should have got on it a week ago. Really, you should have got on it a year ago, if not earlier. But these coins have now Coinbase is really great because Coinbase teaches you about the currency. Matter of fact, there's a website. I can't think of the web browser, but when you use it, you can earn BAT, and you can donate that money to your favorite podcast or live show and stuff like that, and you just accumulate it naturally for just from using that web browser, and it doesn't track you, and you can still use all your Chrome modules. Even though it's not Chrome, you can still use all your Chrome modules on this web browser. And by the end of the show, the name of that browser will come to me. Also, there's another app that allows you to earn cryptocurrency, and when you're it's like a slot machine. It's like a lottery, and when you shop at Safeway or Best Buy and these other places, you earn cryptocurrency. So I want to give you the name of that app. It's called Lolly. Lolli. I recommend everybody download Lolly. Okay? I'm opening up my Lolly app right now, and it say free money app, and it says daily stack, and I'm finna click it, the button. Let's see here. I don't use it that much. Oh, here we go. It says tap the loot box, LOOT. Tap the loot box and earn free money. So it says come back daily for a chance to win up to $100 in Bitcoins. Now, isn't that cool? Now, it said nice stack. And it says view wallet. I've been stacking. This is cool. And when you shop at Safeway, Adidas, Priceline, Sam's Club, Nike, all these places, you will earn free money, free cryptocurrency from that too. Yeah, well, you see what I'm talking about, observing. That's what I'm saying. My wife put in $20, and she has $191 now. And she watched some videos, and they gave her money for watching videos on the Coinbase website. So I think it's Coinbase.com. And once you join Coinbase, you get the Coinbase wallet, and you get the Coinbase app. And the wallet is for when you're doing business and stuff with people, just like a regular wallet, but it's digital. But the Coinbase app, you could have a portfolio, and you can keep an eye on the market, and they have articles and stuff like that. And right now, I see a lot of green. So only Bitcoin is down right now, but Ethereum is up 6%. XRP is up 2%. And guess what? Bitcoin Cash, because I told you that there's more than one Bitcoin. Bitcoin Cash, guess how much Bitcoin Cash is up? Now, yesterday, it cost them $400 for one Bitcoin Cash. Today, it costs $597 for one Bitcoin Cash. Bitcoin Cash has went up 29% overnight. Not even overnight, within the past, I would say the past 8 hours. Matter of fact, let's find out. Yep, I was right. Big Oh my God, Bitcoin Cash went from $446 for one coin to $654. It went up 32%, and the numbers is constantly changing. Right now, just for me talking to you right now, Bitcoin Cash has went up to $609. So that means 32.56%. And that will change every so many hours. I like that better than the stock market, if you ask me. Now, usually Bitcoin Cash doesn't do that well, but for some reason, it doesn't grow that fast, but it does grow. But for some reason, everything is blowing up. And Bitcoin Cash, when they separated from Bitcoin, they came out the gate doing pretty good, and then it dropped, and it only raised gradually, and it wasn't impressive. And over a whole year, Bitcoin Cash only done 104% of an increase in your money in your investment compared to regular Bitcoin, which did 389% in 1 year. So isn't that amazing? The only reason I feel the other coins is going to go up because of Bitcoin is because people go people don't know about cryptocurrency and they're just going to buy any crypto. See, you got three types of people who buy crypto. You got some people that send money back to Africa, back to the Philippines, back to Mexico, and it's just easier to do that. You see what I'm saying? And you got people that are selling things and they don't want to be on record for selling it. Like cryptocurrency is kind of anonymous. So if you want to purchase some ether and you want to purchase some diesel to use for your factory in Colombia, it's better to purchase it with cryptocurrency. And you know what they use ether and diesel for. You see what I'm saying? And then you got people that look at it like the stock market and they just want to flip their money. Like if you just received $250,000 life insurance because of a loved one just passed and you inherited that money, the first thing you would want to do is diversify that money into crypto. You see what I'm saying? And I was telling my wife, if you only put $200 into cryptocurrency and you got $191, then you should take $171 out of your own pocket and add it to your cryptocurrency. That way, if you lose it, you break even, which you would never lose all your money, and you would still have the same amount of money that you put in. And then eventually, you will always be ahead of the game to the point where if you lose anything, you didn't lose anything because all the money that you were working with was profit money. You see what I'm saying? So if you put in $250,000 and that money turns into $350,000, and by the end of the year it's $525,000, take your $250,000 back and put that in the BlockFi bank, or put it in something that's protected by FDIC and a regular bank. But at least now you're working with $275,000. That's all profit. Whether you lose it or not, it was never yours in the first place. You see what I'm saying? Notorious B in the building. So yeah, if Notorious B said it's going up because of Bitcoin, I believe that because Bitcoin is the leader. But you know how it is. You get these people that are new to it, right? And I don't claim to be the expert, right? But uh but think about it. Somebody that's new to it, they're gonna say, "Oh, well, give me some of this and give me some of that. What do you recommend? Well, let me get some of that." They're gonna try to diversify like it's stock. You see what I'm saying? But I would keep any profit that I make. I would keep it in something more stable, like DAI or whatever. And then the stuff that I made extra, I would risk that in a more hostile um, coin that may come with positive results. But like that movie, I haven't watched it yet, but it's called The Rise and Rise of Bitcoin. If you look at the history of Bitcoin, it never crashed. It only keeps rising. You see what I'm saying? Yeah, and so I hear you, Notorious B. That's why I'm not trying to teach anyone about crypto. I'm just trying to lead them to the water. I I went to the Coinbase website, and it was recommended to me by another black man who he works in the tech industry, and he tips me in cash and crypto. And he used to make money helping companies reduce their phone bill by having them switch to VIOP phone services instead of using regular, voice over processing phone services. You know what I'm saying? But I think people want to hear a song or something, so we're gonna pause for the cause. All right. See what we got going on.
Yeah. Blacktronics. Yeah, I mean. Yeah. It's getting crazy. Yo, how many signs do it take to watch the clock tick down to a red light stop? Birds can't fly once you kill the flock. Drop out the sky like original mom. Too many can't see the simple signs. Too much TV and simple minds. Fish don't float when they hit the shore. Can't swim down the river no more. People need love, get some of the kids. If you can't reach the youth, then develop a bridge. Ain't too much that I haven't did except walk across the desert to a pyramid. Get away. From the crazy things, just look for the signs on the movie screen. The games that people play, the songs they sing today. The words get in your brain, that's when we act the same. By the hour, the minutes, seconds, bytes and frames. I got to get away. Get away, get away. I got to get away. I got to get away. How many MCs still on this? MP3 or microchip. Everything changed, but the move came swift. Selling music out the trunk, make the whole thing stiff. Run away with the game on lock, right here, right now. The beat go drop with so much drama and so much pain. I could put it in the music, but what would it gain? The next time you might see me, I'm caught up in a scandal on your TV. Run away, cause it's all a trap. Trying to make a living, all I do is that. I got to get away. Got to get away, away. Just look for the signs on the movie screen. The games that people play, the songs they sing today. The words get in your brain, that's when we act the same. By the hour, minutes, seconds, bytes and frames. I got to get away, get away, get away. I got to get away. kind that you wear, not like a girl, but the kind that make you scared. Yo, man, I'm everywhere. All around town, man, I'm everywhere. I'm overseas. Just like that, giving shouts to my people back out in Iraq. Yo, speaking of racks, I carry racks in my pocket and I do it like that. Man, you making me mad. When I step to the stage, wipe that sad ass smile. Yo, and when I break it down, yo, it's freestyles, don't mess around. When I told your car, don't even trip. When I pee on your line, don't even trip. When I take your girl, don't even trip. Kick dirt on your shoes, don't even trip. When I mean mug you, don't even trip. When I leave with you, don't even trip. Don't even trip. Don't even trip. Don't even trip. Don't even trip.
Now to soon, ooh la la, I rock a freestyle, ooh I'm raw, cause I got this G-Star raw. You look at me and you say, oh my god, I can't believe that cat is just like raw. He's hopping around on the track on the log, just like the game from Atari, Nintendo. Yo, I've been flows like this, not a bimbo, I send flows overseas, I send flows over your knees and over your head. As you bend down, I come through like this, never taking the crown. Without looking twice, crossing the street. I come through and I'm crossing the beat. Illegally, don't trip, illegally. Yo, when we come through, just don't trip. Yo, Eddie P with the gun in his hip. Yo, when you see it, just don't trip. We pop this.
Don't even trip when I peel your grill. Don't even trip when I pee on your line. Don't even trip. Kick dirt on your shoes. Don't even trip when I bring you bad news. Don't even trip when I say shit to you. Don't even trip. Don't even trip. Don't even trip.
It may be nice to try to shame me, I doubt that I might even survive the night. They probably got some type of dynamite, cause after all, it is the 4th of July. And I'm sure that they got armored supplies and explosives and all types of things that go boom. Things that go doom. Make the lights go out, and then I see not noon, but I see the darkness. And I think, man, I shouldn't have parked this car so close to 7-Eleven. Now it's too late, I'm going to the opposite of heaven. And I'm burning in the flames. But it's too late, cause I'm learning in the name. Beta 3-6 that I got a circle. I'm gonna come back, re-emerging like Urkel. With the glasses and the pants pulled up to the waist. Party people in the place. If you know, if you feeling this, wave your hands and don't trip. Don't trip, don't trip, don't trip, don't trip, don't trip.
When I tow your car, don't even trip. When I peel your grill, don't even trip. When I pee on your line, don't even trip. Kick dirt on your shoes, don't even trip. When I bring you bad news, when I say shit to you, don't even trip.
Welcome to his LORDSHIP. So excited to have you guys upon our This is a high-tech technology shift. Is futuristic. This will blow your mind. Again, welcome to his LORDSHIP. Thank you.
There we go, that trusty old remix. Yeah, I don't know why it was on loop, but anyway. It's been all good. In these YouTube streets. There's so many things I have to monitor. Let me see. I know it's late for people. Oh shit, it's late for me. Uh yeah, it's been real. Great the show today. I'm gonna have to sign out. There you go. That's what I'm looking for. Peace and hair grease. And thanks for the contributions. And feel free to catch the playback if you missed anything. These YouTube streets has been crazy. And you know, it hasn't been entertaining. It's just been crazy. It's like watching train off the train wreck. It's like have seizures on the street. If you get like burnt out, like oh my god, another seizure, and we gotta tighten up. You know, you thought the New Year's would bring, it didn't. Things got worse on YouTube. The White House get invaded. Jamiroquai uh, must have had a premonition because they had an album called "Emergency on Planet Earth," and it kind of portrayed that. And also, I think The Simpsons. You see, The Simpsons predict everything. You say bees doesn't tire out, or babies doesn't tire out. Well, YouTube has been as busy as that freeway we looking at. And the first thing I'm going to do is go riding on my unicycle in the morning. First, before I go to sleep, I'm going to see if there's anything I missed out there on the streets. You know. Oh, I hear you, Marquise. What's up, Vicky? Make sure you catch the playback. And it, it's time to hit the sack. I didn't realize what time it was. But yeah, good morning and good night. Well, cool. And on that note, oh yeah, catch the playback because you get to see the beautiful uh beach and ocean. You know, I use the ocean as a backdrop, and I have a PSA for these YouTube streets. Yeah. So, and of course, Uncle Fester was off the hook, but you know, she's on self roast. She trolls herself. If you're live for 10 hours, laying on your back, screaming at the ceiling, and looking in the chat room, looking for a response that you're not getting, you're looking for an amen or yes, girl, yes, and you're not getting it, so you're gonna keep on talking. Be my guest. Roast yourself. Troll yourself. Yes, 8 hours made $0. And yeah, Oregon is popping, especially when it's not flooding or mudslide. And the California is, it is what it is. You got high surf right now, so you might want to stay away from the beach. You know, yeah, 10 hours of yelling and screaming and cursing. So, you can't blame that on nobody else. Key Deadman in the building. Oh, yeah, it is pathetic. And you know what? she had more dislikes than people in the building. That's what I'm saying. And keep that, man. You know I'm using a green screen right now, right? And, you know, once you go green screen, you don't go back. Well, you should try it. Don't knock it till you try it. I'm using a green screen with a wireless remote camera, and I'm also using a wireless remote for OBS Studio. I'm not even sitting by my computer. Well, it's all in how you do it.
They hate on the YouTube streets. They don't want me to be. They all wanna have this beef. Yeah. But it really don't matter to me. Oh, you got me twisted. You got me fucked up. You really don't know me. Yeah. You got me twisted. Oh, you got me fucked up. You really don't wanna mess with me. Yeah. You got me twisted like I'm flexible. Straight out of pocket like deductibles. Don't mess with Bill. That's great advice. You best to keep shit drill. I'm nothing nice. I stand my ground like I'm Gucci. Got me all twisted like I'm some type of goofy. Have you fucked up? Hit you so fast you know what's what. Under you to the streets, you got me twisted. So thank you for tuning in to His Lordship live stream.
Well, y'all, I gotta sign out. It's time to take it down. It's time to take it to the mat. Peace and hair grease. See y'all next time. I'll go live again maybe after I go riding tomorrow. All right.
Suspended animation of a gray expansion casting shadows over the sun.